Welcome back to Hidden Coin Millions. Before you spend another nickel, stop for just a moment. Because the ordinary-looking coin sitting in your pocket, your old coin jar, or even hidden inside your drawer could be one of the most incredible discoveries you've ever made. Every single day, rare buffalo nickels quietly pass from hand to hand because most people never realize what they're holding. Today, we're counting down 6 ultra-rare and most valuable buffalo nickels that have fascinated collectors for generations. One of these coins looks so ordinary that many people would spend it without a second thought. But experienced collectors immediately recognize it as something special. Stay with me until the very end, because each coin becomes more exciting than the last, and you won't want to miss the final surprise. If you love discovering hidden treasures, make sure you're subscribed to Hidden Coin Millions, where fresh rare coin videos are uploaded regularly. Now coin number 1. The first coin on today's countdown is the 1937 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark. At first glance, it may seem like nothing more than an old 5-cent coin that has survived decades of circulation. Its dark black toning, naturally aged surfaces, and attractive overall appearance can easily make someone believe it's simply an old collectible with sentimental value. But experienced numismatists know that appearances can be deceiving. Sometimes, the coins that attract the least attention end up becoming the most memorable discoveries in a collection. The Buffalo nickel is one of America's most admired coin designs. Introduced in 1913, it quickly became a symbol of the nation's frontier history. The portrait on the front was created by sculptor James Earl Fraser, who wanted the coin to represent the strength, determination, and heritage of Native American culture. Rather than creating an imaginary portrait, Fraser combined features inspired by several Native American individuals to produce one of the most recognizable designs ever placed on a United States coin. Turn the coin over, and you'll find the iconic American buffalo standing proudly on a raised mound. This powerful image represents the American West and has made the Buffalo nickel one of the most beloved coins in U.S. history. Even after production ended in 1938, collectors continued searching for well-preserved examples because the design remains timeless and instantly recognizable. The 1937 issue without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Since Philadelphia coins of that era usually carried no mint mark, many people overlook them. They assume that a coin without a mint mark must be common, but experienced collectors understand that condition, originality, eye appeal, and preservation often make all the difference. A coin that has survived decades while maintaining pleasing details and attractive surfaces can capture significant attention. This particular example is described as having a beautiful black layer with a fine overall condition. Natural toning develops slowly over many years as a coin reacts with its environment. Collectors often appreciate original surfaces because they tell the story of a coin's long journey through history. When the toning is even and appealing, it can give the coin a distinctive personality that stands out from countless ordinary examples. One of the first things collectors examine is the Native American portrait. They carefully inspect the braid, hair detail, cheekbone, and facial features to judge how much wear the coin has experienced. On the reverse, attention shifts to the buffalo itself. The horn, shoulder, hip, tail, and the lettering are all closely evaluated. Even slight differences in remaining detail can influence how desirable a coin becomes to advanced collectors. Another important factor is originality. Collectors generally prefer coins that have not been harshly cleaned or artificially altered. Natural surfaces, honest wear, and attractive aging often inspire more confidence than coins that have been polished to look unnaturally bright. A coin with genuine character frequently attracts stronger interest because it reflects decades of authentic history rather than recent modification. Buffalo nickels also continue to enjoy strong popularity because they appeal to collectors of all experience levels. Some people build complete date and mint collections, while others simply admire the artistic beauty of the design. This broad collector interest helps keep demand steady for attractive examples, especially those with pleasing eye appeal and solid preservation. For the coin described here, a 1937 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark, featuring attractive black toning and a fine condition. The market value you provided is $175. Actual selling prices can vary depending on professional authentication, grading, originality, eye appeal, and current collector demand. So this figure should be treated as an estimate rather than a guaranteed price. If you think you found a similar Buffalo nickel, resist the temptation to clean it. Cleaning can permanently change the surface and reduce collector interest. Instead, handle it carefully by the edges, store it in a protective holder, and consider having it examined by a reputable coin dealer or professional grading service if it appears unusual or exceptionally well preserved. This is exactly why millions of people continue searching through inherited collections, old piggy banks, forgotten drawers, estate boxes, and family keepsakes. Hidden treasures aren't always shiny. They're often hiding in plain sight, quietly waiting for someone who knows what to look for. And today's countdown is only getting more exciting. Coin number 2. And this Buffalo nickel has become one of those fascinating coins that many collectors immediately pause to examine. Sitting quietly in today's countdown is the 1936 Buffalo nickel with a D mint mark. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary old 5-cent coin with a rich brown layer developed over decades and an almost fine condition. To many people, it would simply appear old and worn. But experienced collectors know that some of history's most exciting discoveries begin exactly like this, with a coin that almost everyone else ignores. The year 1936 represents one of the most celebrated periods in the Buffalo nickel series. By this time, the design had already earned its place as one of the greatest works of American coin artistry. Every surviving example carries with it a story that stretches back nearly a century, making each coin a remarkable survivor from a completely different era of American history. The famous Buffalo nickel was designed by James Earl Fraser, whose goal was to create a coin that represented America's strength, independence, and frontier spirit. The obverse features the bold portrait of a Native American, carefully crafted to symbolize courage and heritage. On the reverse stands the majestic American buffalo, an animal that became one of the nation's most recognizable symbols. Together, these designs transformed the Buffalo nickel into far more than everyday money. It became a lasting piece of American culture. Your coin carries the D Mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Denver Mint. Whenever collectors search through Buffalo nickels, the mint mark is one of the very first details they inspect. A Denver issue immediately adds another layer of interest, because collectors often build complete sets that include every year and every mint. Missing even one date or mint mark leaves a collection incomplete, which is why attractive Denver examples continue attracting attention. The beautiful brown layer described on this coin tells its own story. Natural toning develops gradually over many decades as the metal interacts with its surroundings. Collectors often appreciate original surfaces because they reflect genuine age rather than artificial alteration. A naturally toned Buffalo nickel with pleasing eye appeal can stand out immediately when displayed alongside cleaned or heavily polished examples. Condition remains one of the biggest factors collectors evaluate. Although this example is described as almost fine, specialists don't stop there. They carefully examine the Native American's hair braid, cheek, feathers, and lettering on the front. On the reverse, they inspect the buffalo's horn, shoulder, hip, tail, and the details around the ground beneath the animal. Every remaining design element helps determine how well the coin survived decades of circulation. Another important feature is originality. Serious collectors generally look for coins with honest wear and untouched surfaces. A buffalo nickel that still displays its authentic character after nearly 90 years often inspires greater confidence because it preserves the history that makes these coins so desirable. The popularity of buffalo nickels has remained remarkably strong for generations. Their classic American design continues attracting longtime numismatists as well as new collectors beginning their first collections. Estate sales, inherited albums, forgotten coin jars, and family keepsakes still produce exciting discoveries, reminding people that remarkable coins sometimes remain hidden in plain sight for decades. For the 1936 Buffalo nickel with a D mint mark, natural brown toning, and almost fine condition described here, the market value you provided is $180. 100th actual market prices vary depending on professional grading, authenticity, eye appeal, originality, and collector demand at the time of sale, so no single value can be guaranteed for every example. If you discover a similar buffalo nickel, avoid cleaning or polishing it. Even well-intentioned cleaning can permanently change the original surface and reduce collector appeal. Instead, hold the coin only by its edges, keep it in a protective holder, and have it evaluated by a reputable coin dealer or professional grading service if you believe it may be an exceptional example. That's what makes buffalo nickels so exciting. Every coin carries nearly a century of history, and every detail, from the mint mark to the natural color and remaining design, adds another piece to its story. Somewhere today, another forgotten buffalo nickel could still be waiting to surprise its owner. Coin number 3, and this is where today's countdown begins to enter truly fascinating territory. Sitting quietly before us is the 1925 buffalo nickel without a mint mark, a coin that has survived nearly a century while carrying the unmistakable charm of American history. At first glance, many people would simply notice its beautiful black shade and very fine appearance before placing it back into a coin jar without another thought. But experienced collectors know that some of the most unforgettable discoveries begin with exactly this kind of coin. The year 1925 belongs to one of the earlier chapters of the Buffalo Nickel series, making every surviving example a remarkable witness to history. Imagine the journey this coin has taken through decades of American life. It has lived through changing generations, major historical events, and countless hands before finally becoming a piece that collectors eagerly search for today. Every mark, every detail, and every naturally aged surface tells part of a story that cannot be recreated. Like every buffalo nickel, this coin showcases James Earl Fraser's timeless masterpiece. The obverse displays the bold Native American portrait, representing courage, endurance, and the rich heritage of America's indigenous peoples. The reverse features the powerful American buffalo standing proudly on its mound, symbolizing strength and the untamed spirit of the American frontier. Even after nearly 100 years, this design continues to be recognized as one of the most beautiful and iconic ever produced by the United States Mint. One detail immediately stands out on this coin. It does not carry a mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Many people mistakenly believe that a missing mint mark means a coin is unimportant. Serious collectors know better. The absence of a mint mark simply identifies where the coin was struck, while its true desirability depends on an originality, preservation, eye appeal, and the quality of its remaining design details. The beautiful black shade described on this example gives it a distinctive appearance. Natural toning develops gradually over decades through normal environmental exposure, creating unique colors and textures that make every coin different. Collectors often appreciate coins that retain original surfaces because they preserve the authentic character built over generations. A naturally toned buffalo nickel can immediately attract attention when its color is even, attractive, and untouched. This particular example is described as being in very fine condition, and that level of preservation always encourages a closer examination. Specialists carefully inspect the Native American's hair braid, feathers, cheekbone, jawline, and lettering on the front. On the reverse, the buffalo's horn, shoulder, back, tail, and leg details are examined closely. The stronger these features remain after nearly a century, the more impressive the coin becomes to collectors who value both history and condition. Another reason buffalo nickels remain so popular is that they appeal to nearly every level of collector. Beginners admire the iconic design, while advanced numismatists spend years assembling complete date and mint collections. Coins from the 1920s hold a special place because they represent an earlier era of production and have naturally become more difficult to locate in pleasing original condition after decades of circulation. Collectors also understand that authenticity is everything. A coin with original surfaces, natural toning, and honest wear often receives far greater appreciation than one that has been cleaned or artificially brightened. Once a coin's original surface has been permanently altered, it can lose much of the historical character that makes it desirable in the first place. That's why experienced collectors encourage patience, careful handling, and proper storage rather than attempting to improve an old coin's appearance. For the 1925 buffalo nickel, without a mint mark, featuring beautiful black toning and a very fine condition described here, the market value you provided is $228. 500th actual selling prices can vary depending on professional authentication, grading, originality, eye appeal, and collector demand at the time of sale. So this figure should be viewed as an estimate rather than a guaranteed selling price. If you ever come across a buffalo nickel that resembles this one, don't rush to spend it or clean it. Hold it only by the edges, protect it in a quality coin holder, and have it evaluated by a trusted coin dealer or professional grading service if you believe it may have collectible significance. Sometimes, the smallest details that most people overlook, are exactly what capture a collector's attention. This countdown is becoming even more exciting because each buffalo nickel reveals another chapter of American history and another reason collectors continue searching through old collections, forgotten boxes, estate sales, and inherited coin albums. Hidden treasures don't always shine brightly. Sometimes they quietly wait for decades until the right person recognizes their importance. Coin number 4, and this buffalo nickel proves that even a well-traveled coin can become one of the most fascinating discoveries in a collection. Introducing the 1925 buffalo nickel without a mint mark, showing attractive brown dots and a circulated condition. Most people would probably glance at this coin for only a second before assuming it has little importance because it clearly spent many years in everyday commerce. But seasoned collectors know that history cannot be replaced, and sometimes the most unforgettable treasures are the ones that have actually lived through nearly a century of American life. Think about the incredible journey this coin may have taken since 1925, It likely passed through countless hands during decades when the United States experienced enormous change. It may have traveled from small-town shops to busy city streets, rested inside old cash registers, remained forgotten inside family collections, or quietly waited in a drawer for generations. Every mark on its surface tells a story that no newly minted coin could ever match. The Buffalo nickel itself remains one of the greatest achievements in American coin design. Created by James Earl Fraser, it captures the spirit of the American frontier in a way few coins ever have. The Native American portrait on the front represents strength, resilience, and heritage, while the powerful buffalo, standing proudly on the reverse, symbolizes endurance and the untamed beauty of the American West. Even today, collectors admire this design because it combines artistic beauty with historical significance. Since this coin has no mint mark, it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Many beginning collectors overlook Philadelphia issues because they expect every valuable coin to carry a visible mint mark. Experienced collectors understand that rarity and desirability depend on far more than a single letter. The date, originality, remaining detail, eye appeal, and overall preservation all work together to determine how collectible a coin may become. One of the most interesting characteristics of this example is its naturally developed brown dots across the surface. These features can appear after decades of normal aging and environmental exposure. Collectors often appreciate original surface characteristics because they reflect the coin's genuine history rather than recent alterations. Every Buffalo nickel ages differently, making each surviving example unique in its own way. Although this coin is described as being in circulated condition, collectors never judge a Buffalo nickel by that description alone. They carefully study the remaining details on the Native American's hair, feathers, cheekbone, braid, and lettering. They then examine the buffalo's horn, shoulder, back, tail, and legs to see how much design remains visible after years of circulation. Sometimes, a circulated coin still preserves attractive detail and excellent originality, making it a highly desirable addition to a collection. Another reason collectors remain passionate about Buffalo nickels is the challenge of finding untouched examples. Many older coins have been cleaned, polished, or damaged over the years. A circulated coin with honest wear and natural surfaces often receives far more respect because it preserves the authentic appearance created by decades of real use. That originality is something experienced collectors actively search for. Buffalo nickels continue to enjoy strong interest throughout the numismatic community because they combine history, artistry, and nostalgia. Collectors search through inherited collections, estate sales, antique shops, old coin albums, and forgotten boxes, hoping to uncover another remarkable survivor from this legendary series. Every discovery reminds us that history can still be hiding in unexpected places. For the 1925 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark, featuring natural brown dots and circulated condition described here, the market value you provided is $214. Hundredth actual selling prices depend on professional authentication, grading, originality, eye appeal, and current collector demand, so individual examples may sell for different amounts. If you ever discover a Buffalo nickel that resembles this one, take a careful look before making any decisions. Never clean the coin, since cleaning can permanently change its original surface and reduce collector appeal. Instead, handle it only by the edges, place it in a protective holder, and consider having it evaluated by a reputable coin dealer or professional grading service if you believe it has collectible significance. Our countdown is becoming even more exciting, and the biggest surprises are still waiting ahead. Coin number 5. And this buffalo nickel is the kind of discovery that immediately captures the attention of serious collectors. Introducing the 1920 buffalo nickel with a D mint mark, featuring a natural brown layer, scattered brown dots, and a fine condition. At first glance, it may appear to be just another old nickel that has quietly survived the passage of time. But collectors know that coins from the early 1920s tell stories that few modern coins can ever match, and every surviving example represents a remarkable piece of American history. The year 1920 was part of the early era of the Buffalo Nickel series. Nearly a century has passed since this coin left the Denver Mint, making every original survivor a fascinating connection to another generation. Imagine the countless places this coin may have traveled, the people who may have carried it, and the decades it quietly witnessed before finding its way into the hands of today's collectors. That remarkable journey is one of the reasons Buffalo nickels continue to fascinate the numismatic community. Designed by James Earl Fraser, the Buffalo nickel remains one of the most admired coins ever produced in the United States. The bold Native American portrait on the obverse represents strength, dignity, and America's cultural heritage, while the powerful buffalo standing on the reverse reflects the enduring spirit of the American frontier. Even after all these years, collectors continue to praise the design for its artistic beauty and historical significance. One of the first details experts notice on this coin is the D mint mark, confirming that it was struck at the Denver Mint. Denver-minted buffalo nickels have long been important to collectors assembling complete date and mint collections. Every mint mark tells another chapter of the buffalo nickel story, and Denver issues remain an essential part of that history. The naturally developed brown layer and brown dots give this example a distinctive appearance. These features often develop gradually over decades of normal storage and circulation. Collectors frequently appreciate coins with original surfaces because they preserve authentic aging rather than displaying evidence of polishing or artificial treatment. Every naturally toned buffalo nickel has its own character, making no two examples exactly alike. This coin is described as being in fine condition, and that immediately encourages a closer inspection. Specialists carefully examine the Native Americans' facial features, hair braid, feathers, and lettering to evaluate the amount of remaining detail. They then study the buffalo's horn, shoulder, back, legs, tail, and the surrounding design elements on the reverse. Even small differences in preserved detail can make one coin more desirable than another with the same date. Authenticity and originality are always among the most important qualities collectors seek. Buffalo nickels that have remained untouched over the years often attract greater attention than examples that have been heavily cleaned or altered. Honest wear combined with original surfaces tells the true story of a coin's journey through history, and that historical character is one of the reasons collectors continue searching for remarkable survivors from the early Buffalo Nickel series. Buffalo nickels remain one of the most actively collected classic American coins because they appeal to both experienced numismatists and newcomers alike. Collectors continue exploring old coin albums, inherited collections, estate sales, antique stores, and forgotten jars, hoping to uncover another fascinating example that has quietly escaped notice for decades. Every discovery reminds us that extraordinary collectibles are sometimes hidden where nobody expects them. For the 1920 Buffalo nickel with a D mint mark, natural brown layer, brown dots, and fine condition described here, the market value you provided is $258. 500th actual selling prices vary depending on professional authentication, grading, originality, eye appeal, and collector demand at the time of sale. so different examples can realize different prices. If you ever come across a buffalo nickel that resembles this one, take the time to examine it carefully before deciding what to do. Never clean or polish the coin, as doing so can permanently affect its original surface and reduce collector interest. Instead, store it safely in a protective holder and consider having it examined by a reputable coin dealer or professional grading service if you believe it may be an exceptional example. We've now uncovered 5 remarkable buffalo nickels, each carrying its own unique journey through American history. But don't leave just yet, because coin number 6 is the grand finale of today's countdown. Its story, history, and collector appeal make it the perfect ending for today's search through hidden American treasures. Stay with Hidden Coin Millions, where we bring you fresh, rare coin discoveries, exciting collecting stories, and new treasure hunting videos for coin enthusiasts every single day. Coin number 6. And now we've reached the grand finale of today's countdown, the buffalo nickel that perfectly concludes our journey through some of America's most fascinating classic coins. This is the 1920 buffalo nickel without a mint mark, displaying a beautiful natural black layer and described as being in uncirculated condition. At first glance, it may simply appear to be an old 5-cent coin from another era, but collectors understand that a well-preserved buffalo nickel from the early 1920s can become the centerpiece of an impressive collection. Imagine holding a coin that has survived for more than a century while still preserving the beauty that made the buffalo nickel one of the greatest designs in United States history. Every original detail that remains visible today reflects careful preservation over generations. That is exactly why collectors become excited whenever an early buffalo nickel appears in exceptional condition. The buffalo nickel was introduced in 1913 and designed by the renowned sculptor James Earl Fraser. His vision was to create a coin that represented the true spirit of America. The bold Native American portrait on the obverse symbolizes courage, resilience, and heritage, while the majestic American buffalo on the reverse reflects the strength and enduring character of the American frontier. More than 100 years later, this design is still admired around the world for its artistic excellence and historical importance. Because this coin does not have a mint mark, it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Many beginning collectors mistakenly overlook Philadelphia issues because they focus only on coins with visible mint marks. Experienced collectors know that preservation, originality, eye appeal, and remaining design details are often far more important. An early Philadelphia buffalo nickel in outstanding condition can become a highly desirable addition to a collection. One of the most striking features of this example is its natural black layer. Over decades, coins develop unique surface colors through normal aging and storage conditions. Collectors often appreciate original toning because it reflects authentic history rather than artificial enhancement. Every naturally toned buffalo nickel develops its own distinctive personality, making each surviving coin different from every other example. Perhaps the most exciting feature of this coin is its uncirculated condition. Unlike coins that spent many years in everyday commerce, an uncirculated example retains significantly more of its original design detail. Collectors closely examine the Native American's hair, braid, feathers, cheekbone, and lettering, while the reverse is inspected for the buffalo's horn, shoulder, back, tail, and leg details. Strong, sharp features combined with original surfaces are qualities that collectors actively seek when evaluating buffalo nickels. Originality is another key reason this coin attracts attention. A buffalo nickel that has avoided harsh cleaning, polishing, or other alterations preserves the authentic appearance it has carried for generations. Collectors generally place tremendous importance on untouched surfaces because they tell the true story of the coin's remarkable survival through time. The Buffalo Nickel series continues to enjoy lasting popularity because it combines history, artistry, and nostalgia in one remarkable design. Collectors across the United States continue searching through inherited collections, estate sales, antique stores, old albums, forgotten boxes, and family keepsakes, hoping to uncover another hidden survivor from this legendary series. Every discovery reminds us that history is sometimes hiding where nobody thinks to look. For the 1920 Buffalo Nickel, without a mint mark, featuring natural black toning and an uncirculated condition described here, the market value you provided is $288. Actual selling prices depend on professional authentication, grading, originality, eye appeal, and collector demand, so individual examples can sell for different amounts. If you believe you've found a Buffalo Nickel similar to this one, resist the temptation to clean it or improve its appearance. Even gentle cleaning can permanently affect the original surface that collectors value so highly. Instead, handle the coin only by its edges, store it in a protective holder, and have it evaluated by a reputable coin dealer or professional grading service if it appears to be an exceptional example. What an incredible countdown this has been! From the first Buffalo Nickel to this outstanding final coin, every piece has carried its own unique story, history, and collector appeal. These remarkable coins remind us that some of America's greatest numismatic treasures don't always stand out at first glance. They're often discovered by people willing to look a little closer. If you enjoyed today's countdown of the top 6 ultra-rare and most valuable Buffalo Nickels, be sure to subscribe to Hidden Coin Millions and turn on notifications so you never miss our fresh daily videos exploring rare US coins, hidden collector favorites, and fascinating discoveries from the world of numismatics. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep checking your collections. You never know what remarkable piece of history might be waiting to be discovered.